In the headlines, Minority caucus in the House of Representatives wants one-item amendment to the Electoral Act immediately signed into law. Bandits release abducted Kaduna Polytechnic lecturer, hold on to daughter. Minister orders closure of Day-Day Market as normalcy returns after clash. Russia says 1,000 Azovstal defenders have surrendered this week. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Zainab Bala. Hello and welcome. The Minority Caucus in the House of Representatives tasked President Muhammadu Buhari to immediately sign the one-item amendment to the Electoral Act 2022 transmitted to him by the National Assembly for assent since last week so as to avert an imminent political crisis in the country. In a statement signed by the minority leader Ndudi Elumelu, the caucus noted with grave concern that the president's delay in signing the single section 84 subsection 8 to the Electoral Act 2022 has thrown the nation into serious confusion and constitutes a huge threat to the nation's democracy and the smooth conduct of the 2023 general elections. The minority caucus urged President Buhari to note that any further delay in signing the amendment to the Electoral Act to give political parties a sense of direction in the conduct of primaries for the election of candidates for the 2023 general elections has the capacity to derail the entire democratic process and destabilize the nation. The lack or delay in signing also has the capacity of exacerbating security situation in the country, adding that signing the amendment to the Electoral Act 2022 would leave a legacy of a credible electoral process for the nation. A lecturer of Kaduna Polytechnic, Dr. Rahmatu Abarshi, who was abducted alongside her daughter and driver 3 weeks ago, have regained freedom. Admin Officer of Barkin Rahama initiative founded by Dr. Abarshi, Abdullah confirmed the release of the lecturer. He said after she regained freedom on Tuesday evening, she was taken to an undisclosed hospital for medical checkup. Abdullah disclosed that she was freed after negotiations with the kidnappers, but he failed to state whether ransom was paid to secure her release. Recall that the victims were abducted on Kachia Kaduna Road while returning from a charity mission. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello has directed the closure of all markets in Day-Day area in Abuja, following Wednesday's riot in the area which led to the loss of 8 people and destruction of valuables. Daily Trust reports that clash broke out on Wednesday between traders, mostly from the Abuja Timber Market, and Okada riders after an accident that led to the death of a passenger. The involved commercial motorcyclist was thereafter lynched by the traders. His motorcycle, along with other seized ones, were set ablaze. The situation escalated and led to the burning of about 20 shops attached to the timber market, as well as 10 vehicles inside a motor park. Some eyewitnesses disclosed that the incident started around 11 a.m. on Wednesday. They said tension heightened after the arrival of security operatives, where gunshots were said to have been fired, which killed 6 people. The minister, accompanied by the FCT Commissioner of Police, Sunday Babajia, and Director DSS, visited the scene. He expressed shock and sadness over the death of innocent people and the destruction of millions of naira worth of property. The minister then ordered for the closure of all markets around the area. He charged them to stay calm and gave the authorities full support in fishing out those responsible for the unfortunate incident. Meanwhile, normalcy has since restored in Day-Day community of Abuja Municipal Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory with the presence of security operatives. This followed a fracas between traders and commercial motorcycle operators on Wednesday. Trust TV's Aisha Salu visited the community and now reports.
Between Okada riders and traders in Day-Day Building Material Market, located in a community along Kubwa-Zuba Expressway of the Federal Capital Territory on Wednesday morning. Security operatives were deployed to arrest the situation. The joint task force involved operatives of the military, the police, and the vigilante group.
Actually, as I speak to you now, even me, I don't even know the main key point that is happening. But for I just have to say because of ask them. It's from there now I live. There are no any. There is, in fact, Now we are already clear the place now.
Okay.
But nothing now, unless I don't even know as we leave that place now. Because only we, vigilante and police, we cannot stop these guys to do whatever they want. And as a soldier come, it's from there the road is clear. But we have people that. Now it's in the morning. But the major problem is, let's say the soldier, they are already reached here early. So this thing not going to happen.
The clash claimed some lives while properties worth millions were lost in the course of the fight. As at press time, shops were still under lock and key as business activities were shut down due to fear of reprisal attacks from the warring parties. However, there is a huge presence of security personnel in and outside the community.
Two ministers who backtracked from pursuing their political ambitions were part of the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday. Kehinde Amodu looks at the interesting development in his report.
The refusal of ministers who had political ambitions to resign from cabinet had raised a hue and cry among Nigerians. It took President Buhari laying down the line before the ministers grudgingly complied and left the cabinet. Some left it to the very last minute. For instance, Transportation Minister Rotimi Amaechi still inaugurated governing boards of 5 agencies under the ministry on Friday before throwing in the towel on Monday. But even now, one is not certain about how many of the 10 ministers who were supposed to have resigned that are still hanging on to their portfolios. Right from Thursday, when President Buhari held a valedictory session for the departing ministers, some had changed their minds. Information Minister Lai Mohammed, who initially suggested that 10 ministers would be leaving the cabinet, is as confused as many Nigerians.
I think you need to give me more time so that I can tell you exactly what the situation is. Right now, I need to cross-check. I need to confirm again from Mr. President what the situation is. Well, I think you see the final decision on who is going, who is coming back, who is not going lies with Mr. President.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami was believed to have an interest in running for governor in Kebbi State, but kept Nigerians guessing until time ran out on Monday. He was part of those that were present at the cabinet meeting at the Council Chamber of State House Abuja on Wednesday. On the other hand, Women Affairs Minister Pauline Tallen had indicated that she was vying for a senatorial seat in Plateau State to defend women's rights. She joined virtually. Ironically, Labour Minister Chris Ngige, who was one of the first ministers to publicly distance himself from his presidential ambition, was not cited at the opening session of the cabinet meeting. The drama continues, and if the question of who is running and who is not can only be answered by the president, it will be an interesting watching and waiting game for political pundits in the weeks to come. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Udom Emmanuel has vowed to revive Nigerian industries if elected president. Governor Udom Emmanuel spoke when he met PDP delegates at the party secretariat in Gombe. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Governor Udom said Gombe State has potentials of becoming a great industrial hub with the right investment in agriculture. He said he will not focus only on building roads, but will inject resources in industrialization and job creation in the country.
I won't come and tell you I'll build road. Everybody they build road. Anybody can build road. I'm building many hospitals. Every federal constituency in my state has equivalent close to the standard of a teaching hospital anywhere. I won't mention that one. I'm one of those very few. Today I'm running free and compulsory education because I believe education is key. We are one of those amongst all the secondary primary school in my state. We've done 3,467 constituency projects only in education. And one of the states that when I came in today, we are moving WAEC. Our target is to make sure our pass rate in WAEC is about 90%. Today, we are achieving almost 80%. We took it off from the point that it was 56-60%. Today, we will increase that. So education, take it as a social contract with you. Healthcare will be part of a social contract.
The Gombe State PDP chairman said he's impressed with the contribution of Udom to the development of Akwa Ibom State.
Come home. Gombe is your home. And looking at the composition of your entourage, we want to thank you for taking our sons to be part of this journey. And I want to thank you. Having taken a general, I think we have conquered the battle.
Governor Udom's visit is coming when other presidential aspirants of the PDP and the All Progressives Congress APC are meeting delegates to seek support ahead of the presidential primary elections of the major political parties in the country. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
A presidential aspirant of Accord Party, Christopher Imomole, has described the state of Nigeria's education sector. Imomole, who spoke during the launch of a platform aimed at assisting students unable to continue their studies due to the lingering industrial action by various academic unions, promised to provide a permanent solution to issues affecting the nation's education system if given the opportunity to serve.
Various study fields. Most of our universities all over the world are run on scholarship basis. That is because we understand the impact of education to third world nation. Nigeria is one of the underdeveloped countries in the world that education should still be subsidized or if possible made free. When I become the president of Nigeria, education will become one of our priorities. As a matter of fact, from the primary to tertiary level, education will be free for Nigerian people. It's possible, we can do it. It's not a rocket science. They are not doing it does not mean that we cannot do it. We are doing it now with our private funds. You now imagine what will happen when we have the opportunity to manage your funds. It means that it will be judiciously used.
Fresh from the resolution of its face-off with Twitter, the federal government has met with officials of Facebook expressing its displeasure over content on the social media platform. Minister of Information said the Nigerian government was concerned that Facebook was becoming a platform of choice for those who were inciting violence in Nigeria from outside the country. Mohammed gave details of the meeting on a day the Federal Executive Council approved the reconstruction of 234-kilometer Bali to Shirti Road in Taraba State at the sum of over 95 billion naira. Kaindi Amodu reports.
The Buhari administration continues to press forward with its agenda of regulating social media. The champion of the crusade, Information Minister Lai Mohammed, says content on Facebook has incited burning of government property, killing of soldiers and policemen. He is therefore asking the platform to do more to regulate some of its unwholesome contents. So is a ban on Facebook in the offing?
Facebook saw our point and they said they are going to do much more than what they are doing. So if they do that, why would we ban them? We don't ban for banning's sake. We would only suspend operations if, for any reason, security lives are threatened and they do not listen.
Meanwhile, the federal government aims to reconstruct the Bali to Shirti Road in Taraba State at a sum of over 95 billion naira through its tax credit program.
The existing road, for those who are familiar with it, has no concrete stone base. So it's just laterite and the asphalt. So it doesn't last and is breaking up and leading to potholes. So we've re-awarded this now for reconstruction under the tax credit scheme. There's a 20 billion naira provision under the NMPC tax credit scheme that will be used to kickstart this immediately.
Similarly, the Alkeri Futuk Road in Bauchi, which was awarded a few years back, has encountered some funding challenges arising from insufficient budgetary provisions.
So we have collaborated with the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, And out of some of the funding available to them, they have provided about 2.83 billion to undertake the construction of major hydraulics, which are parts of the total project. And therefore, this will help first deal with the foundational base of the road, about 16 culverts.
Also on Wednesday, the Cabinet reviewed the contract sum for the construction of the Yola Song Gombe Mubi Gulako 132 kV double circuit transmission line by an additional 1.09 billion naira. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
You're watching Trust TV News Update coming up. Water supply. Details of this story and more after the break. Do stay.
Welcome to Inside Abuja.
Most people who drive on Nigerian roads believe that it's only when you see a law enforcement agent that you are supposed to behave. Meanwhile, you already know what is right for you.
You cannot take what you cannot give. So they cannot come and enforce and take what they cannot give us. So if there is something they want to take from us, there must be a unanimous arrangement that if they collect to us, they have something to give us.
Well, there's a group of vigilantes. They are trying small. Sometimes they used to come out in the night.
For Abuja Investments Company Limited owned markets, the market itself is insured. That is for the owners of the market itself.
The carton of Nigerian chicken was 8,000 naira, but we are selling it 18,000 naira now. Kilo was 1,000 naira, 1,100 then, but now we are selling it 2,000 naira. And it is not our fault, it is the way we buy.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Trust TV News Update and top stories. Minority caucus in the House of Representatives wants one-item amendments to Electoral Act immediately signed into law. Bandits release abducted Kaduna Polytechnic lecturer, hold on to daughter. Still ahead, Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has banned the operation of commercial motorcyclists, popularly known as Okada, in some local governments in Lagos State. Governor Sanwo-Olu issued the ban on Wednesday while speaking with DPOs and area commanders across the state at the Lagos House, Ikeja. The ban takes effect from the 1st of June 2022 in the whole of Ikeja, Surulere, Etiosa, Lagos Mainland, Lagos Island and Apapa local government areas. The governor said other security agencies would join in the enforcement.
The whole of Ikeja local government, the whole of Sule local government, the whole of Etiosa local government, the whole of Mainland local government, the whole of Apapa local government and the whole of Lagos Island local government. A total ban on this and all of the highways effective from the 1st of June. This is the first banning that we're going to be embarking on, so that others know that in a short while it's either to get out or for something else to do. And from 1st of June, there are LCDs that are underneath them. We're going to publish them. We're going to list all of them, and so we're given the notice now, right, where you can begin to do your recce, begin to do, your strategy. From the 1st of June, please to want all of the Okada to be completely off this major road. Let people begin to.
Nigeria Security and Civil Defense NSCDC parades a 37-year-old suspected fraudster over alleged diversion of 40.7 million from 15 businessmen. The suspect, Ahmed Mohammed, was alleged to have lured some business associates that he would buy grains in Kano and other parts of the country. Ibrahim Ismail brings us up to speed on this development.
This is Ahmed Mohammed, a resident of Abuja quarters in Gombe metropolis, suspected to have lured some business associate and defrauded them to the tune of over 40 million naira. Parading the suspect, The commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, Gombe State Command, said the suspect will be charged to court.
You know, nowadays, in Gombe here and across the board, in neighboring states, you hear that, cheating is at a high risk. It's one of also the security threats, because at times, somebody may be cheated with not less than 40 million, 10 million, 5 million. He may even, at the end of the day, develop beefy, and he will die. That's a threat to his life. So many are cheaters, more especially, youths. I'm surprised. Most of this crime is being committed by youths across board, here in Gombe State, and then the other states at large.
The NSCDC commandant urged members of the public to be vigilant in order to escape fraudulent activities by criminal elements. Representative of the 15 men that were defrauded recounted their ordeal.
They used to go and buy the soya beans and what have you, but along the line we have not been having the feedback of how the business is being transferred. About 5 months ago now, since January, Ahmad Sabo transferred the sum of 30 million to him. In fact, it's about 32,290,000 for all of us, including Ahmad Sabo. That's my cousin. So what happened, he's been playing with Ahmad Sabo's intelligence. Ahmad Sabo frowned at him that he has to say what really transferred. We initially know that whenever the major, that's the way the commodities, it is being paid within 24 hours to 48 hours. But since January that they paid him that money, he gave somebody's account, and that person is in Yola.
The suspect declined comment on the matter. From Gombe, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
The acute water shortage facing the ancient city of Katsina and its environs may soon be over, following rehabilitation, upgrading and total overhaul of Ajiwa Waterworks. The report.
Ajiwa Waterworks has never witnessed any form of rehabilitation or upgrading since its construction in 1974, when Katsina was a local government with a population of less than 6,000 people. The waterworks was designed to supply 50 million cubic liters of water to Katsina and villages along the main pipe to the ancient city. With the increasing population, water supply has continued to decline as a result of failure to replace obsolete equipment over time. However, Governor Aminu Bello Masari administration is saying that it is committing over 30 billion naira towards bringing the Ajiwa Waterworks back to life. The contract is for the rehabilitation of 2 clarifiers, procurement and installation of new electromechanical equipment at the existing Ajiwa Waterworks. This is in addition to the construction of new and rehabilitation of existing reservoirs at Ajiwa and Katsina.
The original contract of the Ajiwa gave birth to about 13 different contracts. That is from the initial contract of 2.17 billion, which is the scope of the contract. It talks about the new treatment plan. Some of the electrical components are modernized components, but today, when the contractor and the consultant opened the entire sector, it needed total overhauling.
To improve quality and ensure uninterrupted water supply, power injection substation is being constructed, while 2 brand new electricity generating sets have been procured to attain optimal utilization of the waterworks upon completion.
The next thing is the spillway expansion of the dam. With the opening of the bridge to be a 2 cars will go, the water channel is going to be expanded. The dam will expand. That's a contract that of over 3.something billion we signed, and we handle the contractor, the site. Now the machine are over. The civil work is almost 90%. So now the Katsina State people has future on water.
Another success story is the contract for the water distribution network in Katsina City, hitting about 89% completion stage. Residents of Katsina hold Governor Aminu Bello Masari in high esteem and believe that his being a professional in the field will ensure that they will have enough water for drinking and other domestic purposes before the end of his tenure in 2023. This is the first time I'm hearing this, and if it is true, the government is doing something anywhere to provide lasting solution to acute water shortage in Katsina. We will appreciate it. Our number 1, 2, 3 problems are water shortage. The project is long overdue. People have been suffering in silence, and this is one project that has been underreported. Solving our water problem in Katsina is like giving us a new lease of life. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
And on the foreign scene, Russia says another 694 Ukrainian soldiers defending Mariupol's Azovstal steel plant have surrendered over the past 24 hours as Kiev efforts to retain its last holdout in the devastated southern port comes to a close. They joined the 265 soldiers that Russia's defense ministry said had surrendered earlier, bringing the total to 959 in 48 hours. The second group of Azovstal defenders includes 29 wounded, joining the 51 seriously wounded soldiers who were part of the first evacuation. The fate of the Ukrainian soldiers remains unclear. And that's it on News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Zainab Bala. Thank you for watching.